for checking me out. This is Echo Simpson. I'm Muslim also guys here right now. So he is okay. What's your name?
Roxanne.
Roxanne and
Ken.
Ken. All right. So Roxanne is a follower, a subscriber on my YouTube channel, and then he came to Ghana this December. So we decided to tour, some places in the central region. But at the same time, I'll link him up to just my friend here, Ken, who has land. He's selling land at the beachside, right?
Yeah.
So Ken said, "Yo, Echo, since you're my black brother and I know what you're doing and all that, supporting whatever is happening with the diaspora, he needed to come here and see it for himself." So tell me, you coming here meeting Ken and then the land, this whole land thing.
Right.
And then you were talking about, you think that most of the beaches in Ghana are being occupied by people who don't have it.
Right.
But it's different nowadays. Let's
Right.
tell us the comparison.
So pretty much like when you go to the West, on the beachfront is for like the wealthy, the celebrities and all that. But coming back to Ghana, you see the poor people occupying the beachfront, which is totally opposite, totally different. Like it's like two different worlds. And I really don't know what's going on, but like I think it boils down to resources. Like we don't have the resources to develop our beachfront. Like we are pretty much like sitting on gold mine, and we don't know how to, use our resources wisely.
All right. So you think that our beaches is our gold mine, but we are not making good use
Right.
of it. What do you say about that, Ken?
So, well, I always look at things from. I think it's a matter of perspective. So, perspective in the sense that it's interesting how the wealthy in the West are the only ones that have access to the pleasures of life. So, certain pleasures like having access to the beach. So, if you reverse this camera, you'd see there's a man walking on the beach, casually having fun, enjoying the breeze, enjoying what is out there. And a lot of the resources, such resources, right, are out of the hands of I wouldn't say the poor, of the average person, which is not the case when you come to Ghana. In Ghana, things are a lot more equitable in the sense that everyone has access to these sort of resources, and so you don't necessarily need to be wealthy or rich to actually access the beach front or the beach view and to enjoy it. Whereas in the West and certain parts of Europe, certain parts of even the beach will be cordoned off. It's private property. You can't just walk by the beach except for certain very well developed.
Pretty much like the ordinary Ghanaian can own a land but on the beachfront.
On the beachfront, exactly. Which is
Right.
somewhat a bit out of the ordinary for
Right. If you live in the West.
I haven't lived in the West anyway.
Right.
So basically, so that's based on his analysis. But I feel that what we need is to, like he said, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine in the sense that it's a lot of resources that is underutilized. So it's got potential, and we don't deliberately develop them. So that is where the real challenge is. So I feel that the city authorities or city planners, because at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily have to belong to the wealthy to look good. It can still belong to the average man and still look good. That is if it's properly planned. If we have specific ideas on how to develop it and make it pleasant for not only the poor, but basically everyone that comes.
The problem is like
or the average
Ghanaians
person.
don't like pulling resources together. If we can pull resources and develop our own, we don't have to wait for like an investor somewhere from Chinese or wherever they may come from. If we can pull our own resources to put up like not skyscrapers, but like something comfortable, to attract tourists, that would be like a very awesome thing to do. But
so
we don't pretty much, try to pull out.
This is what I've always been looking for. This is a conversation between an African-born brother, Ghanaian-born brother, who has been in the state for how long?
16 years now.
16 years in the state. His experiences, what he used to see here, and what he's seeing there. That is why some of his statements are like, when he go to the West. And my brother here, he's been on the motherland, and then he has experience with what is happening here on the motherland. So I like the conversation. This one brings it up, the other tries to make the comparison. So let's go.
Yeah. So I was about to say, and this is just a caveat, right, to Echo's viewers. So I would say Echo virtually caught us off guard. This is so we may not be politically correct. It just happens to be our opinions and conversation that we were having, whilst we were moving around. So I know definitely comments and stuff are going to come. Don't take it too hard and harsh on us. It's our honest opinions, and that's basically what it is. I feel that we also need to get to a point where we can confidently and I mean with ease, spaces where we can talk about how we feel and our perspective on things, and
also the way we treat our beaches. We always polluting, and that's what I was talking about. That I mean, we always try to push the poor to the beachfront.
Yeah. So your point is, more of your point is that, like
it's
I
not
said,
even putting up bigger
it
buildings.
doesn't have to be.
It's just about managing the beaches,
exactly
the cleanliness.
It's a
the
deliberate,
way it's supposed to be.
It's being deliberate about our beaches. It's about being conscious about how we treat the environment around the beaches. It's about deliberately saying that, look, this is what we want this place to look like, and we know how it fits into the ecosystem of tourism.
Right.
So it's not something that's left to chance, which is what is happening, because people choose to do what they do, right? Because no one is actually bringing a blueprint and saying, look, this is what we should do, which is quite unfortunate. Sometimes I feel that we should be responsible irrespective of whether there is a blueprint or not, but it's what it is. And I feel that at the end of the day, we need to also move away from talking.
Right.
And I always say that,
because we like to talk and no action.
we like to talk and no action. So, for example, we're having a conversation, especially with the call, and I was saying that, look, this is a year of return, right? And there's a lot of traffic, tourism-wise, coming to Cape Coast. Now, the question is, you go through the town, and the city itself is basically not aware of what is happening. They know, they've seen it on television, but what are they doing to the environment?
Right.
Cleaning up the places, bushes all over, right? So, what sort of impression are we
just
giving
show them
people?
the view. Just show them.
Yeah,
the
you
view.
can flip it, right? Or you want us to go around?
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
It's not even like the best view you're looking at. We just came from, what was the name of the place? From where you showed me the line.
Yeah. So and this is really good. I like this event. I mean, it doesn't look.
This is pretty much like Elmina Castle.
Yeah, this is Elmina Castle.
Right. Elmina Castle. Yeah. The biggest castle in West Africa.
All right, come to this. Have you also realized African Americans or Africans in the beach? Since you are in America, then let me say African Americans. Are you also getting to realize that most of them are getting conscious of being African, and therefore they want to repatriate, they want to come home? Have you also felt that as an African born living in the United States?
Yeah, I have.
And what is causing that? I mean, there's racism, all those things that
Well, yeah, I guess you can put that one on Trump in some way, but like people have always been cautious, especially older black folks. As far as I know, Actually, the reason why I'm in Ghana, like one of my African American friends, like watching YouTube channels, told me, hey, like he made a DNA, and like a percentage was from Ghana. So knowing I come from Ghana was like, if I would be willing to come to Ghana with him. But that was in June, so he couldn't make it this time. So he was actually the one who encouraged me to come back after 16 years.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to buy land for myself, and that's why I saw my friend.
So talk about the land thing. He has shown you where the land is.
Right. Very beautiful, like very beautiful view, like.
Yeah. So I have this piece of property. It's not a lot, but obviously something that I believe is worth seeing, and I'm sure that a lot of you on Echo's blog, if you reach out to him, I will be able to pass on information. If any one of you is ever in Ghana, you can actually get through to me, and we will make the trip and then see it for yourself. But the point is, like Rocky said, it's probably it's a gold mine. That's basically what he said. Gold mine in the sense that it's raw, untapped potential. It's potential. What you need. And I've seen a lot of videos by Akon, and he talks about the fact that what Africa is, most of African cities, what you see in African cities, right? When you travel around Accra, Lagos, and quite a number of other cities, what you see is what the New Yorks and the Londons were some centuries back, right?
Yeah.
Some not even, I wouldn't even say centuries, but some just like some 5 decades, 6, 8 decades back. And the moguls like the Rockefellers and the kind, right? Saw they envisioned something. They saw the potential, and so this is basically what we have happening here in Africa. Those that are actually going to tap into the potential now are the ones that are going to be the winners in the future. Those that are going to come over here and then see, like, so it requires a lot more imagination. So you look at the land, and then a lot is going through your head. You're asking yourself, you're like, what can be done out of this, right? And a lot of the time, people worry about economics and stuff like that. And I say, look, wherever people congregate, right, the economy.
And this brother right here is a young entrepreneur.
Definitely, once you're on this blog, I believe that the best person is to reach out to a call.
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation. In fact, I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
What I have is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What I think should really be happening is that so long as there are people that are interested in coming home and settling, I think it's about time that we started some kind of a directory, right?
Yeah.
Where I will have a conversation with a call. We will probably move around and then engage with a lot of the landowners, families, chiefs, and then try and then create something like a repository, right? Or something like a directory where you can just come to us and you don't have to worry, like we have you covered, right? We'll get you places that you have your peace of mind, basically litigation free, no issues. You come to Ghana and then the process is as smooth as possible. I think that there's a niche for something like that.
We will surely do that, and I like this shirt.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for
Actually,
checking
bought
it
it on eBay. So if you want another one, you can get it.
Guys, we're going to do a follow-up, and there is this amazing t-shirt that's coming up. Just watch out.
All right, thank you for checking me out, man. So you can put up a comment, tell me what you think. They share their opinions on, land, the beaches, Africa, traveling to Africa, diaspora, and all that. Yeah, so, hey, thank you for checking.